Picture a place people fly to for one single picture. Turquoise water. Colorful houses along the waterfront. Palm trees swaying in the wind. This is the island shown on glossy postcards and in travel agency commercials. But what if I told you this island can barely feed itself? That it doesn't have a single proper river? That rain here is rare, not a regular occurrence? And that almost everything the locals eat, drink, and use has to be shipped in from the other side of the world by boat and by plane? That raises a simple but uncomfortable question. If paradise can't survive without constant outside help, can we really call this place paradise? Welcome to Curaçao, an island you may have seen 1,000 times in photos and don't actually know at all. Today we won't talk about 5-star hotels or tourist excursions. We'll follow the same path as the people who call this small patch of land home. We'll wake up early with them. We'll stand in line for breakfast at a small bakery. We'll hear 3 languages spoken on a single street. And we'll find out why locals joke that if you want to keep a secret, don't tell anyone on this island. Because here, everyone knows everything about everyone. So let's start from the very beginning, the moment the plane starts descending over the Caribbean Sea. The first thing almost every traveler sees from the window is water of an unbelievable, almost unreal turquoise color. It's so bright it looks painted. Beyond it, the coast curves in a wide arc, and the city stretches along the bay. This is the view that ends up on the covers of guidebooks and gets thousands of people booking tickets here every year. But the moment the plane lands and the car drives out past the airport, the picture changes completely. No dense tropical jungle. No tall palm groves that many tourists imagine when they picture a Caribbean island. Instead, dry, almost desert-like land. Low, thorny bushes. Huge cacti rising straight out of the rocky soil. And of course, the island's famous divi-divi trees. Low, bent, as if frozen in a permanent bow to the wind that never stops blowing here. That contrast is the first thing that surprises every first-time visitor. The postcard promises one thing, reality shows another. So why is that? Curaçao sits in the southern Caribbean Sea, just 65 kilometers from the coast of Venezuela. The island lies outside the main hurricane belt, so the sun shines here almost year-round. But because of that, rainfall is extremely scarce. There are almost no rivers on the island, no large freshwater lakes. The land is drier here than any advertising photo would suggest. And yet this dry, unwelcoming-looking land has been home to tens of thousands of people for generations. To understand how life here works, let's start at the heart of the island, its capital, called Willemstad. Right in the center of the city is Santa Ana Bay, a narrow strip of water that splits Willemstad into 2 parts. One is called Punta, the other Otro Banda. And connecting them is a remarkable structure, the Queen Emma floating pedestrian bridge. This bridge is like nothing else. When a large ship needs to enter the harbor, the bridge literally swings open on the water to clear the way. A warning bell rings, and something remarkable happens. People walking down the street simply stop. They don't rush, they don't get annoyed. They calmly wait for the bridge to close again, then carry on as if nothing happened. For a tourist, it looks like a genuine feat of engineering and a delightful travel moment. For a local, it's just part of an ordinary Tuesday. And that's exactly one of the island's biggest secrets. What feels like magic to visitors is simply everyday life for the people who live here. Let's walk a little further along the waterfront called Willemstad. This is where those same colorful houses stand, the ones we've all seen in photos. yellow, blue, pink, and orange facades that really do look like something out of a painted fairy tale. But few people know these colors aren't just decoration. High ceilings in these houses help reduce indoor heat. Windows are placed directly across from each other, so the constant sea breeze can flow straight through the building and cool it down. And wide verandas provide shade during the hottest hours of the day. According to a local legend, the bright colors of the facades came from one of the island's governors. All the houses used to be white, but the bright Caribbean sun reflected off the white walls so harshly it hurt people's eyes. So, the story goes, the governor ordered the buildings repainted in different colors to reduce the glare. Whether it's true or just a nice legend is hard to say. But today, behind these bright walls, you'll still find offices, family-owned shops, and small cafes where the everyday life of the city continues. Willemstad isn't just the island's capital, it's its true heart. Every morning, traffic flows in here from every corner of the island. People head to work, kids head to school, shopkeepers open their stores. Buses do run across the island, but their schedules are fairly limited, so a private car is the most practical way to get around here. That's why so many used cars imported from Japan and South Korea are on the roads. They're affordable and known for their reliability. For most people on Curaçao, work, errands, and everyday social life all revolve around Willemstad. It's not just an administrative center, it's the place where the pulse of the whole island beats. Now imagine stepping into a small street cafe somewhere near the waterfront. What would you hear at the tables around you? Most likely, several languages at once. A group of friends chatting in Papiamentu, the island's local language. A waiter switches to Dutch to talk to a coworker, then greets arriving tourists in English with a smile a moment later. For visitors, it sounds almost like a small miracle. For locals, it's just an ordinary thing. No one here is surprised if the same person switches from one language to another within 5 minutes without even thinking about it. This linguistic diversity isn't an accident. It's a direct reflection of the island's history. Even though Curaçao covers just over 440 square kilometers, it has been a true meeting point for people from all over the world for centuries. Today, most of the island's residents are descendants of Africans brought here many generations ago. Alongside them live descendants of the Dutch, Sephardic Jews, and immigrants from Venezuela and Colombia. All these cultures have blended together, creating something truly unique. A character and spirit of the island that can't be mistaken for anywhere else. If you visit Curaçao for the first time, the first 2 words you'll probably hear are bonbini and douche. Bonbini means welcome in Papiamentu, a language born from the meeting of many cultures on this small island. Originally, it helped people from different backgrounds simply understand one another. Over time, it became a true symbol of the island's cultural identity. And if bonbini is the word that greets you, then douche is the word that captures the island's very soul. Locals use it for almost anything that gives them a warm feeling: delicious food, an adorable child, a close friend, or simply a pleasant moment in life. Douche is much more than just a word. It reflects how much locals value family meals, conversations with neighbors, and the simple little joys of everyday life. And these simple joys are exactly what we're about to show you next. Because the real island isn't a postcard, it isn't a commercial, it's real people who wake up every day, work, laugh, cook, watch the sunset, and fall asleep again to the sound of the ocean. Next, we'll join them for an ordinary day. We'll see how morning begins on an island where the sun is both nature's greatest gift and the biggest daily challenge for everyone who lives here. Stay with us, because the most interesting part is only just beginning. Spend just a few days on Curaçao, and you'll notice one important thing. Life here moves very differently from life in big modern cities. It's not that people here are less busy or less hardworking. It's something else. They've learned to shape their daily lives around the rhythm of nature instead of fighting it. Here, nobody argues with the sun. Here, people simply live alongside it. A new day on the island starts very early, long before the Caribbean sun builds up its full, almost scorching strength. It's during these morning hours, while the air is still cool and the light is soft, that the island slowly wakes up. The streets gradually fill with movement. Children in neat school uniforms walk along the sidewalks. Adults get into their cars to head to work, and traffic from every part of the island slowly flows in one direction, toward Willemstad, the island's economic heart. On their way to work, many locals stop at small neighborhood bakeries to grab breakfast. A simple meal, bread, cheese, cold cuts, and a cup of coffee, reflects the island's Dutch influence, still felt in everyday culture here. But there's one dish that truly deserves to be called Curaçao's morning symbol. It's pastechi, a small deep-fried pastry filled with cheese, beef, chicken, or tuna. Crispy on the outside, flavorful on the inside. It's sold on nearly every corner, and almost every local starts their day with one at least once a week. As shop windows gradually open and the streets grow busier, the island officially begins another workday. But the Caribbean sun spares no one. By late morning, everything starts to change. The heat becomes so intense that the streets slowly empty out. Some businesses slow down. Street activity grows noticeably quieter. Many schools try to end classes earlier so children can get home before the hottest part of the day. And here we come to a very important trait of the local character. Instead of fighting the weather, people have learned to work with it. They pause. They look for shade. They wait for the cooling trade winds to pick up before continuing with their day. This slower pace of life here isn't just a lifestyle choice or a trend. It's a way of surviving, perfected over the years. It's how locals have learned to live in harmony with their island's climate, instead of against it. But the day on Curaçao doesn't end with the midday heat. As the sun starts to set and the exhausting heat begins to fade, the island seems to come alive again. After work, many locals stop by their favorite small bars, known here as snacks, for a cold beer, to catch up with friends, and of course, to play a game of dominoes. Playing dominoes here isn't just entertainment. It's a true evening ritual, repeated day after day for generations. Neighbors gather outside on porches in front of their homes. They sit and simply talk to one another. Children keep playing right there in the street, while adults keep an eye on them. The quiet of the afternoon gradually gives way to laughter, voices, and bits of conversation drifting out of open windows. It's in these evening hours that you notice just how closely connected the island's people really are. Here, it's not the custom to shut yourself inside after work. Here, the custom is to go outside, to neighbors, to friends, to your own small street community. But the island's real second life begins even later, around 9 in the evening. That's when small food trucks begin appearing along roads all across the island. Locals call them truck pans. People just leaving bars, groups of friends out late, and workers finishing their evening shifts all stop by on their way home for a bite to eat. Grilled meat, French fries, hearty sandwiches, simple but incredibly tasty food prepared right in front of you. While the food is being cooked, conversations, laughter, and jokes continue under the soft glow of the streetlights. For many islanders, the truck pan is far more than just a place for a late dinner. It's a familiar gathering spot where another day on the island winds down calmly, unhurriedly, and warmly. Now imagine it's Friday evening, with 2 whole days of rest ahead. For the people of Curaçao, a weekend doesn't mean traveling far. Just a short drive is enough to reach the sea. And like the rest of life on the island, weekends here unfold at a slow, relaxed pace. From early morning, the island's beaches start filling up with people. But not every beach is the same, and that detail says a lot about local life. On the southeastern coast are the most popular, well-known beaches, like Mambo Beach and Jan Thiel. Both tourists and locals come here to enjoy a trendy resort atmosphere. Entry is often paid, and beach chairs usually cost extra. By midday, music starts playing from the beach bars, DJs perform on weekends, and the whole vibe feels like a proper resort. But if you ask local families where they prefer to spend their weekends, the answer is usually quite different. Many of them choose the western side of the island. Here you'll find beaches like Groteknip and Kas Abu, quieter, calmer, more family-oriented spots. Locals arrive with coolers, homemade food, and portable grills to spend the entire day by the sea. Children splash around in the clear water. Adults gather in the shade to talk. The smell of barbecue carried on the sea breeze becomes an inseparable part of every weekend on the island. Many families stay until late in the evening, only packing up once the sun starts slowly disappearing below the horizon. For many people on Curaçao, the beach isn't just a way to relax. It's where families and friends come together to enjoy the well-earned reward of another shared week. But it would be a mistake to think Curaçao is only about beaches. The island has a completely different side that many visitors never expect. On weekend mornings, many locals head to Cristofel National Park to climb Mount Cristofel, the island's highest point. The hike starts early because the trails close around 10 in the morning. The rocky terrain absorbs so much heat by then that continuing the climb becomes unsafe. Some people choose a different kind of adventure altogether, snorkeling near a spot called Piscadera or Piedra Grande, where green sea turtles are often seen swimming close to shore. They gather here near the local fishing pier looking for food, and sometimes just a short swim is enough to observe them in their natural habitat. And on the northern side of the island are salt flats that serve as a feeding ground for Caribbean pink flamingos. Against the island's dry, almost desert-like landscape, their bright pink feathers create a striking, almost fairy tale-like contrast. Another side of Curaçao, quite different from the turquoise beaches most people picture. The cuisine of Curaçao is its own important part of the island's story. Every dish here carries the history of the people who have called this island home for centuries. One of the island's most famous dishes is keshi yena. According to historical accounts, it originated during the colonial era, when enslaved people used the hollowed-out rinds of cheese left behind by their owners, filling them with meat, vegetables, and spices before baking. What was once a dish born out of hardship and difficult circumstances eventually became one of the leading symbols of the island's culinary heritage. Alongside it is funchi, a simple cornmeal dish found on almost every family's table, and stoba, a slow-cooked stew made with beef, oxtail, or goat, cooked until the meat becomes truly tender. Even though life on the island has changed a great deal over the years, these traditional dishes are still passed down from one generation to the next, preserving the memory and traditions of Curaçao's families. Step by step, from small morning habits, evening chats with neighbors, family lunches on the beach, and traditional dishes, a real, living picture of the island comes together. Nothing like the glossy postcard, but far more genuine and personal. Next, we'll find out what lies behind the island's economy, what really keeps Curaçao running, and what price its people pay for calling this place home. The sea around Curaçao has always been much more than just a beautiful view from a window. It has fed people for hundreds of years, and today, walking around the island, you can still feel how closely local life is intertwined with the ocean. One of the island's best-known dishes is carco. It's made from queen conch meat, harvested right in the waters around the island. For many generations, this dish has remained a favorite in both local restaurants and family kitchens. Fresh fish is just as popular. It's usually simply grilled or lightly seasoned with Caribbean spices to bring out its natural flavor. These simple recipes reflect the close bond between the island's people and the sea, which has fed and supported them for centuries. But there's another product on the island known far beyond Curaçao, even though few people know its true origin. It's the famous blue liqueur, blue Curaçao. Few people know this drink comes from a fruit once considered almost inedible. It's made from the dried peel of the laraja, a bitter orange that adapted to the island's dry climate over hundreds of years. The fruit's flesh is far too bitter to eat, but its peel contains aromatic oils that became the foundation of the island's famous liqueur. Today, many tourists specifically visit local distilleries to see with their own eyes how this drink is made. But what makes it truly remarkable isn't its bright blue color or distinctive citrus taste. What's remarkable is how locals managed to turn their island's very limited natural resources into a product known all over the world. Every morning, massive cruise ships slowly dock in Willemstad's harbor. Thousands of tourists step ashore and find themselves on the island's colorful streets. For most of them, it's the start of a long-awaited vacation. For locals, it's the start of an ordinary workday. Hotel staff, taxi drivers, tour guides, dive instructors, souvenir shop owners. The incomes of tens of thousands of island residents are tied to tourism in one way or another. It's a huge part of the economy, and a great deal depends on it. But it wasn't always this way. Long before tourism became the island's main pillar, Curaçao's economy was driven by an oil refinery called Isla. For decades, it provided jobs for generations of locals and shaped the growth of entire neighborhoods that sprang up around it. After the refinery shut down, it became a symbol of a bygone era. But along with that came open questions about environmental pollution and about which direction the island should take next. In recent years, Curaçao has gained a new source of income. The island has become an attractive destination for international professionals and freelancers who work remotely. During the day, they work online, and after work, they head to the ocean to dive among the coral reefs or simply watch the sunset right at their doorstep. Even though these people's income comes from outside the island, most of their money is spent right here, on rent, food, and local services. This brings extra revenue into the local economy and supports growth across various service industries. But every year, there comes a time when life on the island seems to change completely. That's carnival season. Unlike many other places where carnival lasts just a few days, Curaçao's celebration stretches on for almost a whole month. Parades, live music, and community events follow one another almost without a break. For many islanders, this isn't just a festival. It's the most anticipated time of the entire year. Long before the opening parade, dance and performance groups start building huge decorated floats, rehearsing dance routines, and designing costumes. Many locals save money all year long, willing to spend a significant amount just to wear the dazzling, feather and crystal-covered costumes featured in the Grand March. Before the streets fill with colorful parades, the island also holds another key event, the Tumba Festival, a music competition considered the true heart of carnival. This is where the season's official anthem is chosen, and for the following weeks, its tune echoes across the whole island. On the final night, a figure called King Momo is burned in a symbolic ceremony that marks the end of the celebration and, as it's believed, carries away the misfortunes of the past year. Once the excitement of Carnival fades, life on the island settles back into its familiar rhythm. Roman Catholicism remains the island's most influential religion. Every Sunday morning, many families keep up the tradition passed down from their parents and grandparents. They go to church. But alongside Catholicism, another, much older spiritual tradition still exists on the island. It's known as Bruá. Bruá blends African spiritual beliefs with local traditions and European influences that have developed over many centuries. For some people, it involves rituals believed to bring good luck, protect against misfortune, or offer peace during difficult times. Today, not everyone on the island believes in Bruá, but stories about it continue to be passed down from generation to generation, remaining an enduring part of the island's cultural identity. Here, organized religion and traditional folk beliefs peacefully exist side by side. There's a joke locals love to tell. If you want to keep a secret, don't tell anyone on the island. The island covers just over 440 square kilometers, with a population of fewer than 20,000 people. At that size, running into someone you know is almost unavoidable. A simple trip to the grocery store can unexpectedly stretch on much longer than planned, simply because you'll end up greeting people, exchanging a few words, catching up on news along the way. And news here, it has to be said, travels remarkably fast. Locals even have a name for this: small island mentality. And while it sometimes means a little less privacy, this very trait creates a sense of community that's rarely found in big cities. When someone runs into hardship, neighbors, friends, and even casual acquaintances are often ready to help without hesitation. On Curaçao, you might lose a bit of privacy, but in return, you gain something far more valuable: a genuine sense of belonging. And yet, if there's one place on the island where you truly feel the real cost of island life, it's probably the grocery store. About 90% of all the food consumed on Curaçao is shipped in by sea or by air. So when fuel prices rise, supply chains are disrupted, or bad weather delays shipments, the cost of living on the island can shift almost instantly. That's why two very different types of grocery stores have emerged on the island. Large supermarkets, like Albert Heijn, offer a wide range of imported goods in the Dutch style, though usually at higher prices. Meanwhile, smaller stores, often run by the island's Chinese community, have become a popular choice for many families looking to save a bit on everyday essentials. Food isn't the only major expense tied to island life. Electricity and clean water also take up a significant share of many household budgets. Since Curaçao has almost no natural sources of fresh water, most of the island's drinking water comes from seawater desalination. The water is clean enough to drink straight from the tap, but that quality comes at a cost. The electricity payment system here is also unusual for many visitors. Many households use a prepaid system called pagatinu. Instead of paying after using electricity, residents top up their electric meter's balance in advance. Once the balance runs out, the power automatically shuts off until more credit is added. That's why saving energy has become a completely natural part of everyday life here. Air conditioning is often used only when truly necessary, and many families simply open their windows during the day to make use of the cool trade winds instead of relying on machines. Step by step, behind the beautiful facades of the colorful houses and the bright festivities of Carnival, lies a very different, far more practical side of life on the island. A side tourists rarely think about, but one that those who truly call Curaçao home face every single day. Next, we'll talk about the coral reefs slowly losing their color, about young people who fly away to study every year and don't always come back, and about whether it's even possible to preserve a paradise that depends so heavily on the rest of the world. There are places on Earth whose beauty seems eternal. Curaçao is exactly one of those places. Turquoise water, colorful houses, a calm pace of life. All of it looks as though it has always existed and always will. But it turns out this island has another story too. A story about what comes next. For a small island in the Caribbean, paradise has never been something to take for granted. Every single day, it has to be earned, protected, and maintained all over again. And to understand why, we need to look beneath the water, to where the island's real life begins. For thousands of years, the coral reefs around Curaçao have quietly protected and sustained the island. They do far more than create the beautiful underwater scenery that draws divers here from all over the world. These reefs provide shelter, breeding grounds, and food for an enormous number of marine creatures, fish, sea turtles, and countless other species. It's thanks to this remarkable ecosystem that the island is known for its natural beauty today. But beneath the crystal-clear water, changes are already hard to ignore. In recent years, rising ocean temperatures have caused widespread coral bleaching. Reefs that were once vibrant and full of life are turning pale and lifeless. As the reefs decline, marine life around them starts changing too. Fish become less abundant. Sea turtles lose important feeding grounds. And the delicate balance of the whole ecosystem grows increasingly fragile. These changes aren't just happening underwater, they're happening on land too. Willemstad, the island's coastal capital and most recognizable landmark, is considered one of the area's most vulnerable to potential sea level rise. Every year, Curaçao welcomes more and more visitors. Tourism creates jobs and brings valuable income to the island. But along with that, it brings new challenges too. Huge cruise ships can bring thousands of passengers ashore at once. Resorts keep expanding, adding pressure on freshwater supplies, waste management, and public beaches. In some areas, rising home prices and rental costs have made it increasingly hard for local residents to find affordable housing. As tourism keeps growing, Curaçao faces the ongoing challenge of balancing economic development with preserving its own identity and natural beauty. For many young people on Curaçao, an important decision comes up right after finishing school. Should they stay on the island or leave? Because the island's population is small, higher education options here are fairly limited. So many students choose to continue their studies in the Netherlands. A flight of about 9 hours has long become a familiar journey for countless island families. But not everyone comes back. Higher salaries, broader career opportunities, and more stable long-term prospects in Europe encourage many young people to stay and build their lives there instead, in the Netherlands. Over time, Curaçao has faced a growing challenge, losing young talent as more people leave than return. And maybe that's one of the island's biggest paradoxes. Every year, millions of tourists come here to see this beauty with their own eyes. And at the same time, for many young islanders, the journey toward their dreams begins with a flight away from home. But despite all these